Hello and welcome back to Buckle Up. I'm Harry King and this is the brand new facelifted Honda Jazz Crosstar. It's the lifestyle variant of the Jazz, but the whole range has had a facelift. So we're going to go through the changes. I'll tell you about what this car is like, and I'll tell you if buying this top lifestyle trim is worth it. Let's go! Alrighty, we're going to start here at the front as per usual, where a lot of the changes have been made. So there's this new, deeper, more aggressive, more sporty bumper. Of course, on the Crosstar you get this silver lower element that's supposed to look like a brush guard or something, but obviously it's just another part of the bumper plastic. Here you get the blue around the badge because this is an e-HEV hybrid. I will explain that a bit later in the video. You also get some big chunky fog lights, and you get black outlines around the cutesy bug eyes. So there's kind of a lot more going on than there was before, and all of the elements generally, the deeper bumper, the black around the headlights, is to give this car a sportier image because they want it to appeal more to younger buyers. Something that hasn't changed though is the stationary quarter glass, a rather unique styling element in today's car design in general. Overall, you have the same silhouette as before, though of course on the Crosstar it's elevated, and then you have these black elements along the bottom with a bit of silver bright work right down there again to again give it that lifestyley, off-roady, roughy-tufty image that we all love. And roof bars. These will take 50 kilos. Black door handles, black mirror caps to go with your eyeliner and your black bumper elements. Again, all in the sporty vibe. And then round the back you also get a sort of dark eyebrow over these rear lights. Again, ties into that sporty thing. Now, I'm personally of the mind that you could attach all of the sporty accoutrement in the world to a Honda Jazz. It's still going to look like a cute space egg, and I think that is the case. I like what they've done. I don't think this looks like a hot hatchback. Here at the back, we also have the blue rimmed badge again, and the e-HEV badge, just to really double down on that hybrid thing. We also have the Jazz Crosstar badge, which you'll notice that they've merged the words together. So you might accidentally read it as Crosstar or as Crosstar, but you probably won't. Of course, the Jazz is an incredibly practical car. It's basically a mini MPV, just no one refers to cars being one of them anymore. It's kind of an automotive taboo, as it were. But the proof is in the pudding, and this has over 300 litres of space in the boot in a B-segment hatchback. That's great. You also have underfloor storage, and you have all of the crazy seat gubbins that Honda does so well. So I'm going to actually lower them from here, and they'll go down like that. And then what you have is over 1,200 litres of space and a nearly flat load floor. I only don't say completely flat because there's a ridge here within the boot itself, but there's no ridge created by the seats, and the seats fold completely flat. Also, you have runners on either side for the seatbelt to go up, so it won't get trapped when you're lifting the seat up and down. Excellent. Why don't you come around to the side and I'll show you more of the seat magic from there. So let's get into the wizardry of Honda's magic seats. The first thing I want to talk about is the fact that these do fold completely flat and how they do it. So if you watch carefully, you'll see the seat base folds away with the top, so it's completely flush to the floor, which lets the back of the seat come all the way down here. But I'll fold this back up now. You'll see that the seat belt is untrapped. But I'm actually going to do more folding now. So I'll lift up the seat base, lock it in place, and this one. And then what you actually have here is a motocross support vehicle, because you could fit a motorbike in this space now. It's tall enough, it's long enough, or, you know, a set of IKEA drawers or something from your local garden centre if you're a normal car owner. But it's massively practical and massively flexible, and the shape of this car, it really maximises everything for the footprint. So the other thing that you have in here, if I fold these back down, is enough space for me. Just pop that headrest up. Look at that. This seat is in my driver's position. I've got headroom, I've got knee room, the seat's comfortable. Practicality back here. You've got 2 power ports, both USB-Cs. You've got this pocket in the back of the seat here, which is quite good. You can stick your phone in it, and then it leaves just about the right part of the screen to watch YouTube videos while you're on the move. So you could, I don't know, you could watch this video here. You also have seat back pockets on both of the front seats, which some Super Minis do not, and you have a bottle holder / door pocket in both doors as well. You've got Isofix on the outer seats, and it's just exposed, no covers to fiddle with. The seats themselves, in the Crosstar model, are covered with a waterproof fabric, so you can go out and do whatever lifestyle-y thing you want, and then your seats won't be ruined when you come home again. Also, I guess, if you've got small children back here, apple or orange juice spills will be well contained. On the outside, you've got this part leather as well, which helps it feel premium. But how premium does it feel up front? Up front, it does feel sort of premium. They've made some interior changes. You've got more of this black gloss plastic. You have soft touch on the items that you're likely to touch, I guess. So the armrest here on the door, this armrest, the top of the dashboard here, but then further back, the plastics get harder, or down here as well. Pretty standard for the segment. The steering wheel's lovely though, and you get these nice, they almost look enameled segments on the steering wheel, which helps to elevate the cabin. You also get it around your drive selector. The seating position itself is excellent. You sit quite high for a small hatchback, but that's quite popular, especially in the Crosstar, as this is more crossover-y. But I've got this seat set all the way down. Obviously, I've got acres of headroom, so if you wanted to go higher, you can. But I've also got fantastic forward visibility, thanks to that fixed quarter glass and the super skinny A-pillars, I guess they are, because then the pillar actually at the front of the door becomes the B pillar, so then this becomes the C pillar. It all gets a bit confusing, but it leads to excellent visibility. You also have a frameless mirror to help you see out of the rear window. Excellent visibility there too. And on this model, a reversing camera. Technology-wise, it's got everything. Honda say it's class leading in its number of safety technologies, and they have a thing called Honda Sense, but basically that's the full suite of driving assistance. But for stuff you care about, you've got lane departure, you've got blind spot monitoring, you've got radar cruise control, and you've got auto steering for the motorway as well. You get a 9-inch infotainment display that does have its own sat-nav, though it's not the best sat-nav software in the world. It's a little bit laggy and just not quite as crisp and as modern as some rivals. But worry not, for there is wired Android Auto, or now wireless Apple CarPlay. Obviously, you can still wire it in if you want to. You also get a 7-inch digital driver's display. So there's no physical dials in here at all. The right-hand side, you've got a set of funky lights for your fuel gauge. On the left-hand side, you've got a set of funky lights for your battery charge level. And then in the actual screen, you've got all your general useful driver information. You don't have a rev counter, interestingly, but I will get onto why that is in a second as well. Practicality. You've got quite a few cubby spaces in here, because not only do you have a normal glove box, but you also have a dash top glove box. Double glove box. Love that. You've got a cup holder here, and then another square cup holder behind it, weirdly, that does get slightly impeded by the front of the lid for the center storage area. But worry not, again, for you have cup holders in the dashboard. You have a cubby in front of the gear stick here, and you have good-sized door pockets with a segregated bottle holder. There is no glasses holder, but you do still get a light and a mirror on your sun visors. Also, in terms of practicality, you have a 12-volt power outlet and 2 USBs up front, but no USB-Cs, but you do have them in the back, weirdly. Let's talk EHEV. So, this is the drive selector. It's like a conventional automatic. You've got park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then B for regenerative braking. However, you don't have a conventional transmission. So, you have a petrol engine, you have 2 electric motors, and then you have a lock-up clutch. And most of the time, you're driving on power coming from the battery into the electric motor, or power coming straight from the petrol engine as a generator into the motor, and then at higher speeds on the motorway, where it's more efficient, there's a clutch that locks up and directly engages drive to the front wheels, and then it will drive on the petrol engine physically, rather than it being a generator. And they've done this so that at every single stage, the most efficient form of drive is occurring, which is very clever because it means that they can offer this as just a standard normal hybrid, no plug-in, and it will still get 60 mpg, but you don't have to worry about doing anything other than putting petrol in it. That's the theory anyway. Last little notes, you have the same waterproof material on your seats as you get in the back, with leather around the edge, part leather seats. You also have special Honda foam that's supposed to support your back and stop you getting lumbar pain, which is good because there's no adjustable lumbar support, and all the seat controls are manual. Okay, I think I've just about covered everything in the cabin, so let's take it out on the road. Alrighty then, driving the Honda Jazz Crosstar EHEV. It's so smooth. The benefit of this propulsion system, I'm going to describe it as, because I can't think of a better way, is it gives you such smooth acceleration set off, gear changes, as it were. For a car that you have to live with every day, is fabulous. But then it's got good get up and go as well. 250 newton meters of torque is a lot of torque, and 120 horsepower in a car of this size is plenty. So it's not lacking. For all that smoothness and relaxedness, you'd usually associate that with a sort of old traditional style torque converter automatic, and then it would feel really slushy and sluggish. But this has instant electric torque, so you just put your foot down and off you go. That's the downside. So this doesn't really suffer from any of the usual inconveniences of a CVT. You don't get that kind of long highway cruising noise thing, but the engine in this car just so happens to not sound particularly nice. So you do climb through the revs when you're accelerating. It'll do false gear changes for you to make it feel more natural, if that's the correct way of thinking of a mechanical man-made machine. But the engine in the cabin is quite loud, and it's just not a particularly pleasant noise. Otherwise in the cabin though, NVH from the road, from noise outside the car, from wind noise even, it's very nice, very relaxed. It fits in again with that smooth driving. The suspension for this size of car is very good. Over some more broken, faster services, it can feel a little bit chattery or jittery. Otherwise, around town or on the motorway, it handles bumps very well, and you stay very well connected to the road. You've always got good control. The steering weight, surprisingly, is rather nice. You've got a good idea of where the wheels are pointing. It's an electric system, and it's a little bit chuckable, you know. Obviously, hybrid batteries, I'm sitting on top of them, but they're low down in the car, so you've got a good weight distribution. And even though this is a relatively tall vehicle, it doesn't suffer too much from roll. Now, if you are worried about roll, you can buy the new Sport version that gets lower suspension and stiffer anti-roll bars, so you'll have even better turning that. This, being the Crosstar, has slightly raised suspension, so in theory has the worst roll characteristics of any of the Jazz models. and in this it's perfectly well managed, so it's only going to be better in the others. While we're talking about steering, I'll talk about some of the safety systems. Honda's Sense suite. I like the way that this car does its lane departure warning. A lot of cars, if it thinks you're straying over the line, which in some cases you're just driving down an A road and actually you know what you're doing, but it'll try and jerk the steering wheel back into the lane. Big culprits of this: MG4, Great Wall Motors, or a Funky Cat, and in some cases it can attempt to jerk you into stationary parked cars, and it gets slightly alarming. In this, what it does is it gives the steering wheel like a little side-to-side wobble, so it doesn't change the direction of travel, but it lets you know that you are passing over a line, and are you sure you want to do that, sir? I quite like that. So it's good bit of thinking from Honda there. And on the front of Honda Sense, I'm going to now attempt to use the radar cruise control. If I turn that on there and I press set, that's okay, so it's set at 44 miles an hour, and I'll turn on the auto steering. It can't currently see the edges of the road, which does make sense because it's grass on that side of the car, but we are following behind this Nissan Qashqai. I'll set the cruise to the national speed limit, and there we go, it's now steering itself. See if we can get that on camera. So that's there, and it's now braking with the Nissan. There we go, bring it down, and then yeah, that all works very well. This is fitted as standard to all Honda Jazzes, which is a good thing, because the other thing I should talk about is price. This car that I'm in right now, deep breath in, the recommended retail price is it's within a stone's throw of 30 grand. It's £29,500, which seems like a lot. You've got to remember, all this equipment has standard, plus heated seats, heated steering wheel, all that stuff, nice interior, part leather. It does have all those things, but also no one buys a car in the real world anymore. We all PCP them. On a PCP deal, you can have one of these for £280 a month. Thanks to Honda's strong used values and their strong reliability record, these cars don't depreciate too badly, so to buy on PCP, they're very, very reasonable. You can actually get into a Honda Jazz from as little as £260 a month, which isn't bad at all, and actually is quite comparable to a lot of its cheaper rivals, weirdly. The eHev, it does pay off economy-wise. I've driven this car about 500 miles this week, and overall I've been averaging about 57 mpg, and that includes long motorway journeys where maybe you'd be concerned about a sort of certainly a plug-in hybrid wouldn't do as well on economy, and around town. And thanks to the system where you're using battery and motor, or you're using engine generator and motor, or you're using direct drive from the engine, so you're always in the most efficient way of propelling the car, it really does work. And I've had very comparable economy figures from plug-in hybrids, and then they drop off on the motorway, or they drop off once your battery runs out, and that's not a problem, miss. You just put petrol in and it just works. So yeah, really, to go back on that and list my things: good points, sensible, well thought out, easy to live with, comfortable, quiet, smooth. Downsides: rough engine note. But before I say any more, let's go back and do a conclusion. Finally, the conclusion on this Jazz. Is it a good car? Yes, it's a great car. It's a car I would consider buying with my own money. If you want a nice, economical, small hybrid, full of practicality, this has it all in spades. I really like this car. Is the facelift a success? Yes, I think all of the changes have helped this car look better. It was cute before, but it did have a bit of a porpoisey front end, and the silver maybe wasn't quite as swish as they'd hoped it had been, with the black and the new bumper, and it's just all a bit better, a bit sportier. It's a gradual improvement. I'm a big fan. And finally, in lifestyle trim, in Crosstar, is it worth it? Is it worth £29,000? I think it is. I think this is the best looking version of the Jazz, including the new sports version. I really like the way the roof bars and the plastic cladding balance out the higher body style, and I think it just looks more purposeful and more interesting, and hopefully looks more appetizing for a younger buyer, maybe a less traditional Honda Jazz buyer. So there you go, the Honda Jazz, a fabulous small hybrid. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. You can go down to the comments and tell us what you think of the Honda Jazz Crosstar eHev. Do you like it? Do you like Fjord Blue? I'm a big fan. Also, if you're down there, you go look in the description. All of our social medias are there. You can follow us in all of those places too. We post photos or tweets and other things also, but you'll have to go there to find them. And there are 3 ways you can support the channel. We have merchandise. I am actually wearing some under this exceptionally fashionable shirt to be wearing on an incredibly hot summer's day. It's nothing to do with the fact I just need to pin my microphone somewhere. We also have a Patreon, and we have channel memberships right here on YouTube where you can subscribe monthly or you can give thanks. So please do one or all of those things, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.